enough, and there's not much left for the Utah Jazz for this season.
Stunning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because just like that, the Utah Jazz season is over. The Jazz lost to the Dallas Mavericks last night in Game 6, lost the series 4-2. Now, the Jazz played well early, led by 12 points at halftime, but fell behind by 8 in the fourth quarter. They were down by 1 with 5 seconds to play. They had a chance to grab the lead, but Mike Conley got called for traveling right there. Costly turnover after a Dallas free throw. The Jazz had one more chance, down 2. Coach Snyder drew up a great play. Bojan Bogdanovic, an open look at a three-pointer, but it bounces off the iron, and the Jazz lost it 98-96, and their season is over.
That's a tough one. I think we felt like we were playing well enough to win this game.
Wide open, team trusted me, and then that's what it is. I mean, fortunately, I missed the shot, but it was a great look.
We fell short of our goal, and it hurts, ain't gonna lie, but yeah.
It was just early, you're not used to finish so early, and just a lot of disappointment.
We had high hopes, high expectations to be playing. It's just tough, losing in the first round like this.
And now comes the time to look back and figure out what went wrong and to look ahead and figure out how to fix it.
When you look back, it's just obviously frustrating. You try to ask yourself why we can't just be consistent.
A lot of hurdles that were, for us, things that we just didn't overcome. Adversity, championship teams overcome adversity, and we weren't able to do that, whether it was mentally, physically, and that's on us. That's on us as a group.
I think this year is for the last few years, that's maybe the first time we really, at times, lost our identity.
Some people say that's the coach's fault and it's time for a change, but it sounds like the team doesn't feel that way.
This has been a great team to coach, and I love these guys. You want the result to be different.
I love my time with Quinn, and there's always going to be talk about a lot of things, especially when you have disappointing endings like we had this season.
People gotta look out for themselves. It's a business, whatever it is. But I love playing for Coach Quinn.
Love Quinn. Quinn's, he's a guy that there's talk, and I think he's done a phenomenal job of continuing to lead us as a group, and I love Coach Quinn.
As far as which players will be back next year, that's a topic for the offseason.
I'm a competitor, and I feel like if you give us another crack at it, we can go get it. But in the same token, there's things that could change. I'm not ready to discuss that, to be honest with you, right now.
This group, we've done so many things together. Who cares what everybody else says? Nobody. We just gonna stay together.
I want to win. That's it. I want to win, and when I came here 9 years ago, my goal was to win a championship here, and nothing has changed.
It's crazy because only one team ends the season with a victory, right?
Right.
And I've done this for like 37 years now, covering the Jazz, and it's always stunning, the finality of when the season ends, it's done.
It's
like
so over.
You're into this thing full on and then over.